You have to push this button down here. That one.
That's turn green.
And then it turns,
And then pull it down.
and then you have to speak.
There you go.
Otherwise you're not using
All right. We'll drink the water. A, meeting opening. A1, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now observe a 30-second moment of silence. Thank you. Moving to A3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Hearing none, do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
I move that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Navarez. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to A4, election of 2025 governing board officers. The governing board shall elect from among the membership of the board a president. The new president of the board shall take office upon the election. The board shall then elect a vice president, and the officers of the board shall hold office for a term of 1 year or until their successors are elected. I am now opening nominations for the office of president, and I would like to make a nomination. I nominate that the board elect Board Member Matthew Navarez for the office of President of the Alhambra Elementary School District. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we are now closing nominations. May I have a motion to close nominations?
I move to close nominations.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Dale Campo. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, so now I move that we elect Board Member Matt Navarez to be president of the Alhambra Elementary School District Governing Board. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, congratulations. We have now elected Mr. Matt Navarez as the president of the Alhambra Elementary School District Governing Board. You're in charge now.
Would now be appropriate time to make comment, or would after the piece?
You're the president.
Okay. Well, well, hello everybody. I want to first thank the board and its trust in electing me as your next board president. And I also want to thank you, Dr. Mayes, your cabinet and the leadership team for just taking the time these last 2 years to helping me learn all the great things that are happening in this district and all the things that we're also working on as well. I've been able to witness the hard work and dedication from our teachers and staff from setting up family engagement events like carnivals and parent-teacher nights, even in Arizona's generous heat, to making each moment in the classroom, the halls, and the playgrounds a learning opportunity. To our staff who work behind the scenes, taking on the demands of urgent requests to make sure all school sites can run smoothly, thank you for all you do. As a board, we've been blessed to have Mr. Concha's leadership, and I aspire to carry the same enthusiasm, care, and commitment that you've demonstrated for us. We've also been fortunate to have a board who has our students, their families, and the community in our hearts when making decisions that affect our district. I know we're heading into a year with some level of uncertainty, but I want our families to feel like Alhambra is always a safe place for their child to grow and learn, where we give them the best education with the best care. I aim to uplift the values of student voice and academic achievement. I aim to embody collaborative leadership, continuing to embrace our community in all its diversity and increase family involvement. Let our district be recognized for moving the needle on student outcomes such as literacy goals, for data-driven governance and leadership, and for 21st century education curriculum and best practices. As your board president, I will strive to facilitate successful meetings and encourage the board to ensure we have what we need to make the decisions for this year. As a board, let us too strive for board excellence. When the 5 of us lead with exemplary leadership, we will be ready to take on the challenges ahead. Thank you, everyone, and I look forward to serving in this capacity with you all. Stays on. All right, let's see here. I open the nominations for the office of clerk, the vice president. I open the nominations for the vice president.
I would like to nominate now board member Lupe Conchas to the position of vice president.
Hearing nomination for Lupe Conchas. Do we have, let's see. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any more nominations? Can I have the motion to close nominations?
I move that we close nominations.
I'll second.
Is there a next page?
Yeah, we need to vote on closing the nominations.
Okay, so hearing motions, can I, we did that part already. I move to motion. Wait, yeah, I move the motion to be closed. Correct, yeah, sorry. Next, can I have a motion for electing Lupe Conchas as,
We need to vote on.
oh, to vote, okay.
First and the second.
Can I call for a vote for first?
You call for a vote to close the nomination. Say that.
I call for a vote to close nomination.
All
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, nominations are closed. And
Now move to.
now can we have somebody move to elect Lupe Conchas as vice president? I move Lupe Conchas to be the vice president. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Can I call for a vote? All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, Lupe Conchas, you are vice president. All right, moving along to B1, public. Oh, yes. B1, public comment. Hearing no public comment. Moving along to C, consent agenda. C1, approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve consent agenda items 1 through 7.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Oh, no discussion, right. All in favor say aye.
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 All right, consent agenda items passed. Moving to D, new business, D1, hearing officers. My list go. Oh, it's right here. D1, hearing officers. That the governing board approve the hearing officers as submitted for calendar year 2025. Arizona state statute requires governing boards to approve a hearing officer for student long-term suspension and expulsion hearings. State statute allows the governing board to approve the hearing officer prior to each hearing or once for the entire year. District policy supports the approval of the hearing officers for the entire year. Hearing officers have received training. Mr. Michael Rivera and Ms. Melissa Gonzalez will be the primary hearing officers for the Alhambra School District for long-term suspension expulsion matters, unless circumstances arise where an alternative hearing officer is necessary. If that should be the case, the Arizona Risk Retention Trust list of trained hearing officers for 2025 will be utilized. Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve the hearing officers as submitted for calendar year 2025?
I move that the board approve the hearing officers as submitted for calendar year 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Can I have a second?
Go for it. I second.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion pass. D2, school safety program. Should I read this part first and then read this part, or read this part first? Okay. D2, school safety program. Administration recommends that governing board approve the proposed school safety program plan. Alhambra has been awarded the school safety grant through the Arizona Department of Education, an amazing $3.8 million investment in our district. This grant will enable us to provide dedicated school safety officers on all campuses serving K-8 students. Here's an overview of the SSOs and the essential role they will play in our schools. SSO is an Arizona post-certified law enforcement officer performing secondary employment services as SSOs in SSP designated schools. Presence on campus, SSOs will arrive at their assigned school on time, check in with the site administrator, principals, assistant principals, or designee, and remain on campus 100% of the school day, actively engaged and visible, not sitting in vehicles. Key responsibilities. Be a positive role model by building meaningful relationships, interacting with students and staff, and being an approachable, visible presence on campus. Act as a law-related education by teaching universal lessons in classrooms, and serve as a law enforcement public safety specialist to maintain a safe environment. Again, Alhambra has been awarded the school safety grant through Arizona Department of Education, a $3.8 million school safety investment in our district. This grant will enable us to provide dedicated school safety officers, SSOs, on all Alhambra campuses serving K-8. And now we'll hear from Ms. Gonzalez and Ms. Coughlin. Sorry.
Good evening, President Navarez, board members, and Dr. Mayas. You have presented majority of my information. Amazing. Thank you. Best. Woo. Yay. So on the slides, we have prepared some of the information that you did read. We have recently been awarded a grant for $3.8 million, which represents about 10% of the money given from the state of Arizona in this area coming to Alhambra in order to have SSOs on our campuses. As already stated, all K-8 campuses would have an SSO if this is approved. The only campus which did not qualify because it's not a K-8 campus would be APA. They would not have one because they were not eligible in the grant. Again, this is much of what you've already read to everybody. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Gonzalez for a few other details.
As you mentioned, we expect them to be a very positive asset to our school communities, to our district community, And so Mr. Rivera will treat this program very similarly to how he treated our former program. He will be our district lead. They will serve in the capacity of our employees, so he will onboard them. He will train them to understand our district culture, our climate, how we engage with students, how we interact with families, and that their role here is just enhancing the secure feeling, the secure environments that we have and that our parents have let us know that they want. So he is going to work with principals as well as these school safety officers. They will be teaching law-related education, so he will work with principals to coordinate how those classes come into play, and he will be the point of contact to ensure that it is a smooth and positive program.
And just, we highlighted a few recent responses from our families on the parent experience survey. You'll see that there are several different parents from a variety of campuses requesting and wanting police patrols or officers present. And so this actually fits timing perfectly. We do have these requests from parents, and now we have this ability to have these SSOs on our campus. And with that, we're here to answer any further questions that you may have concerning this grant.
Thank you. Thank you for presenting. Do I have any questions from the governing board?
Hello, President Navarez and staff. I would like to ask about discipline. Is discipline going to be any form of job description or job duties for school safety officers?
They will not be involved in any of our disciplinary actions. That is up to our principals, to our assistant principals. That is a district function of ours that we work very hard to do very appropriately with our kids. So they will not be a part of any disciplinary actions. They are there to be positive role models, to build meaningful relationships with students and meaningful relationships with families. And Mr. Rivera is our point person to help ensure that that is how the interactions are taking place.
Thank you. And I just wanted to emphasize to the public and to those who are watching that I had this discussion with Superintendent Mayas because while I was knocking on doors and talking to parents in a certain neighborhood near one of our school sites, they had mentioned that one of the discipline procedures that the parent was didn't agree with was their student being searched without their permission. And so I want to ensure that that the district knows that search and seizure is one of my very important topics when it comes to discipline. And I of course, would not want to see our school safety officers involved in that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes.
Excuse me. I have worked in many schools that had school safety officers. I'm sorry, I'm too short to be seen over the, I'm here. I have worked in many schools that have had school safety officers. I know a few years back, they were kind of a no-no. Nobody really was in favor of them. My experiences with them have always been positive. They've always been good role models. They've sponsored after-school events. They've talked to our students about the laws, the rules, the regulations, how you survive, not how you survive, how you handle yourself in the community, what you do in case you get in trouble. I have just always been impressed with the school safety officers that I have worked with, so I am thrilled to know that we've gotten this grant. I think it will definitely make a difference in the way our community looks at our police officers, and I think it will definitely help our students feel more confident knowing that these people are on campus and are there to look out for them as well as to educate them on the rules of society. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board member like to make a comment on the presentation?
I would like to, but I would like other board members if they have anything.
And just to clarify, we'll have this another opportunity to in discussion, right? Or is this is it? Okay. Okay.
My question is, will the school safety officers be armed?
Yes, they are retired, former, or off-contract law officers. They will be in uniform, they will be armed, but as we've researched and we've discussed, learned from other districts, it's actually very important that they are in the capacity to respond in the event of an actual emergency, and that's the best way that they can take care of our kids.
Thank you. I also want to thank the district for the opportunity to do emergency preparedness training with the National Association of Elected Officials, because this has definitely been a concern. Active shooter incidents happen across the country, and I want to just ensure that all of our families feel safe. Thank you. That's it, Mr. Navarro.
Any other board member like to make a comment? I will make a comment. I prepared something again, so it'll be a little less winded. I do want to, thank the team for talking with me and Dr. Mayes for meeting with me to voice my concerns around school safety and school safety officers. These were things like tracking and measuring impact of safety, clarifying the SSO's intended scope of work, trainings and policies to consider like cultural sensitivity, equity, family engagement, student behaviors and interactions. I will admit that I am hesitant as this is a heavy decision that can potentially negatively impact people in our community. But I also have personally reached out to talk to family members in our district this week about this proposal, and they have on a majority positive feelings towards this direction, including some of the concerns I mentioned. But it echoes the responses that you shared with us with the parent surveys. So and that's really good to know just by asking questions from parents. Some of my concerns still exist, but I am confident that Dr. Mayes has heard all the board's concerns to ensure that we will not accept anything less than excellence. Our community deserves the best. Our students want to be learners, our teachers want to teach, and our parents want their child to be educated, but we all deserve to feel safe. And with that, I will be voting in favor of accepting this grant at this time, but I know we'll have to put all that on the floor.
Thank you.
Any other before? All right, can I call for a motion that the governing board approve the proposed school safety program plan?
I move that we adopt this proposed school safety plan.
Excellent. Can I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Can I have no discussion? Can I have a vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passed. All right, I'm getting through this, y'all. E1, or E, Business Department. E1, Maricopa County School Superintendent Garnishment Resolution. Thank you, Dana. Administration requests that the governing board approve the Maricopa County School Superintendent Garnishment Resolution in accordance to ARS 12-1602. AESD requests and appoints the Office of Maricopa County School of a Superintendent as authorized statutory agent for all garnishments upon any employee of AESD. Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve the Maricopa County School Superintendent Garnishment Resolution?
I move that the governing board approve the Maricopa County Superintendent Garnishment Resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Fuentes?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
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 Excellent. Motion passed.
I had discussion.
Oh, sorry. I need to write it for myself. All right, E2. This is the submitted monthly report that provides the district financial status as the report date of January 7, 2025, and that is for your board packet. Moving to E3, Disaster Assistance Agreement, FEMA. In September of 2020, the governing board approved Angela Conklin to apply for funds from FEMA-DEMA to support costs incurred by the district related to COVID. The application has been initially approved and is moving along to be funded. The attached paperwork is in the next steps in the process to reimbursing district Medicaid funds of $108,560.11. There's no information. Perfect. Moving along to F, board policies. F1, regulation revision information. On October 21st, 2024, the Arizona State Board of Education approved a revision of Board Rule AAC R7-2-401 G4A that is immediately effective. This revision impacts individualized education plan requirements, particularly in the area of transition services, including the inclusion of an estimated graduation date AAC R7-2-401 G4A and written notification to parents of the anticipated graduation date AAC R7-2-401 G4A CI. These changes are noted in the appropriate sections of IHB-R. Also information. Nice. All right. Moving along, F2, first reading and adoption, policies BAA, GCFC, GDFA, IGA, and IMG. Administration recommends that the governing board approve the first reading and adopt the proposed changes to policies BAA, GCFC, GDFA, IGA, IMG. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the first readings and adopt the proposed changes to policy BAA, GCFC, GDFA, IGA, IMG.
I move that the governing board approve the first reading and adoption and adopt the proposed changes to policies BAA, GCFC, GDFA, IGA, and IMG.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Okay, I second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
President Navarez, I have a question for the board and for superintendent's team. Why are we doing first reading and adoption on on 5 policies at the same time?
These particular policies were vetted by cabinet, and the language that is asked to be changed on all of these is required by either a revision to state statute or it's a House bill, and the language is very minimal on all of these. So it was all just done, and these came out in October, and we know that there's going to be some others dropping very shortly, so we wanted to get these cleared off the table.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 All right. Motion pass. Moving to G, comments and communication. G1, comments from governing board members.
I'll go first. Sorry, I can't sit or stand for very long, so I apologize for standing up in the middle of the meeting. It wasn't because I was intending to leave, I assure you. I am so excited to be back. It's good to see all your smiling faces and to be able to actually be a part of a meeting instead of sitting in my living room being a part of it. Having said all that, I hope you all had a wonderful winter break. We had an awesome time at our family. Our whole family was home. There were 20 of us. We were crowded in everywhere. And I know that all of you had great times with your family and your friends, and that you came back refreshed and got right back into it with parent conferences this weekend, this week. That's a great way to come back and get to know those parents. I appreciate all of the work that you are doing to keep our students coming to school at this difficult time. I know there's lots of questions from parents and families about what's happening with the rules and regulations and enforcement. So I appreciate all that you're doing to encourage our students to be at school and to alleviate their anxiety. I want to shout out to Gabriel's team. I loved it. I looked onto Facebook, 4 more days till school starts, 3 more days till school starts. It was like a countdown. You did a great job of getting that all out there. So thank you for keeping us in the minds of all of our families while they were enjoying their holidays, to not forget they had to come back. Sometimes they might forget until the yellow school bus goes by. So thank you for doing that. Thank you to everybody who has been working through this sewage problem. I can't even imagine how you are managing to keep going with all your records and your paperwork. And I mean, what a nightmare for maintenance as well as for you. So thank to everybody who's making that work. It will be over soon, I know, but it's tough when you're living through it. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of this week.
Thank you. Any other board member would like to make a comment?
Our new board member's shy. Well, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start my my remarks with welcoming board member Santana to the board. Welcome. Thank you so much for bringing your parent perspective, and we look forward to seeing what initiatives and what directives you're interested in for the school board. I also wanted to welcome everybody back to a great year. Thank you so much for the board for nominating for electing me as the vice president. I look forward to working with President Navarez and making sure that things go smoothly for our board. And I am just really excited about the next 4 years. This is the first meeting of my 4-year term, so you can't get rid of me. I'm here to stay. And that's all that I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me. 4 more years. Are we going to make it? I'm sure we will.
Excellent. Any other comments? Hearing none, moving to G2, Governing Board Direction and or Agenda Item Request. Do I have a Governing Board member who has an item or future agenda discussion, information, or action item?
President Navarro, I would like an update on the technology plan that we talked about in the last meeting in December. I know there was a lot of excitement on there, and I know that the superintendent's team and technology probably have it in the works for us, but I just wanted to bring it up because it was very exciting. Also, on another serious note, there's been some news about what's happening in a neighboring district, and I just want to ensure that our district stays in good financial footing, and that we have transparency and accountability for everything that we do in terms of our finances, in terms of our auditing, to ensure that one, our staff is paid and and their employment is secured, but also that the quality of our education and that our learners have the best quality of education. So I wanted to just say that out loud, acknowledge it, and continue to keep this board and keep the superintendent accountable to ensure that we are in good financial status. And thankfully, ever since I've been on the board, we've had clean audits, and we've had a great financial team, and we've had a really strong leader as our superintendent to keep us thriving. So thank you, President Navarro.
The tech one, but all right. Any other governing board member who'd like to make a request? Hearing none, moving to G3, comments from the superintendent and cabinet.
Good evening, everyone. This evening we'll start our comments with Ms. Bilyeu.
Thank you. Governing Board President Navarez, Governing Board members, and Dr. Mayes, it is my pleasure to share a big shout out to Ms. Tamala at Barcelona for leading her students to the Blue Watermelon Cooking Competition. It's a culinary competition for students to create healthy and affordable school meals, and her kids are so confident that their recipes that they're petitioning Child Nutrition to feature them on the Barcelona menu. It's really an example of how that child nutrition team has led to foster creativity and real-world learning. And I got a taste yesterday of their recipes, and my money's on Barcelona for the win. A second quick update, we have taken 53 grade levels across multiple grades. 53 grade levels have gone across multiple grades to participate in the standard field trip. Teachers have praised the transportation team and the drivers for excellent support in ensuring that their students travel safely. And my favorite part of this update is the student comments, so I'm just going to share a couple with you. Thank you for letting us go to the science fair, because I had a lot of fun. I discovered lots of things I never thought were real. I played games, I did activities, and I built things. I had so much fun. This one's my favorite. Thank you for letting us go to the Science Center. I know how very pricey it was for the trip, so thank you. But we really are getting great reviews from the students and the staff, so we appreciate the board for their continuous support of initiatives like the child nutrition menu creation and the standard field trip, because initiatives like these really demonstrate your commitment to the whole child, so we thank you for that.
Good evening to our new president and our governing board and Dr. Myers. I love that this started out with students because today I was privileged to just experience two beautiful student moments. The first was the opportunity to spend time with some junior high students this morning talking about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and how that legacy connects with other thought leaders of justice and civil rights, and to be inspired by their reflections and their questions and the connections across those folks who are a part of America. And it was just a beautiful moment. My second moment, I hadn't even planned, but I was at conferences this evening, and a dad and daughter came through the front doors at CGP and down the main hall as if they were in a debutante ball. Dad had daughter, junior high daughter, arm in arm, and to see the smiles on their faces on their way to parent-teacher conferences. That was the inspiration that reminds me of the great work we have the opportunity to engage in. So again, I am just so thankful for our scholars and our families and the opportunity to engage. So tonight, kudos to our students.
Thank you. Good evening, President Navarez, board members, Dr. Myers, and our Alhambra community. I am very excited to share that we have our annual upcoming career fair. And though we may not be hiring for as many certified and support positions as we normally do, we are very excited to look for folks that want to become and join part of our team in certain positions like our special education, transportation, and some paraprofessional roles as well. And our job fair will be coming up very soon. Our theme this year is Discover Your Future in Alhambra. The fair will be on Wednesday, February 19th, 4:30 to 6 o'clock, and we're going to place it at the heart of our community over at Cordova Elementary School. So we invite all of you to attend and be there, and bring family, friends who want to become part of our community here in Alhambra, and we look forward to meeting people and people that want to do great things for the kids and our students in our community. So spread the word, and thanks Gabe and your team for helping our marketing as well. So we look forward to that on February 19th in Cordova. Thank you.
Thank you, President Nevares and governing board members and Superintendent Dr. Mayes. Tonight I want to celebrate Leadership Initiative. We have really engaged in our Leader in Me programs and beliefs, and I want to celebrate Catalina Ventura School. They are doing Thrive 25, and so that is a month-long focus on different leadership points. Their first week, they are building leadership exposure by bringing in guest speakers to the students. And they have guest speakers from female NFL referees to real estate agents to a sensei, which is a martial arts instructor, if you don't know, and even a retired Navy officer. But it's the power of the story that is the point of this opportunity with the kids. It's about connecting to the students and saying, you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. Trying and failing and trying again and building that resilience. And in my conversation with Mr. Hill, as he was celebrating so many wonderful ahas, he mentioned how one student in the presentation of the real estate agent said, oh my gosh, I have suffered in these types of crises of real estate when I was a child in Thailand. And so the presentation really touched the student's heart, and he shared that with Mr. Hale and opened Mr. Hale's eyes to this individual, and now has a different relationship with him because of that. But every week they're building in their leadership portfolio. The fourth week they are going to be engaged in a project as a grade level. First grade, I believe their project is going to be with St. Vincent de Paul. I don't know what that is yet, but that's their focus. But just a wonderful activity, a wonderful way to involve our kids, a wonderful way to inspire and connect to the leaders that they are within that they may not even know about. And then long term, they will use these habits that they're growing to maintain accountability and tracking their own goals. So we're establishing long-term habits, hopefully. So thank you.
Governing Board President Navarez, board members, and Superintendent Dr. Mayas. This week at a state conference for ESSA, or the Every Student Succeeds Act, we are so proud that Alhambra Elementary School District was received focus and recognition during both the keynote and during some of the study sessions for the work that we have done with unpacking standards. And so I was so proud to receive the text message from my director saying this is what they showed for the whole state and this was Alhambra. And we were so excited about standards, but also to be recognized for that, really because it shows the work of our teachers and our district academic staff and leaders to really focus on learning for students. So we were proud of that recognition and look forward to seeing what it will do for learning for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Mrs. Ragland, I'm still picturing the student and parent that you referenced earlier, and it reminds me in my school visits, I just am so grateful for our students. We have the most amazing children, and it reminds me of a few teachers that I've spoken to today. Several of us were at Valencia earlier, and the teachers there were telling us how amazing the kids there are, and they are, but what they don't realize, I was just at Cordova where the teachers there were telling me how their kids were the best and how amazing the kids are. And before that, Granada East was telling me how amazing their kids are and how they're the best. And truly, we just have amazing children that we are privileged to serve. And our community is just wonderful. And I'm so thankful to all of our staff right now who are in our schools all week long, who've been connecting with our families, and like I said, it's been amazing to see the families hand in hand and just celebrating the learning that's happening in our schools. Thinking about learning, we've had a lot of data to look at this week. So as I reflect on what we've been doing this week, we concluded before break, students were assessed, and we had a lot of data come in. So last week, this week, we've been reviewing that, seeing where kids are at with their learning. Our school staff had an opportunity to provide feedback on their site leadership, on the district office leadership, and our parents also had an opportunity to provide us feedback. And so we have a lot of data that we've been reviewing and learning from and trying to figure out how we can use it to provide to strive for the excellence that is one of our core values. And so I'm very grateful for that. We'll be sharing with you what we've learned and how we're using that data to improve what we're doing. One of the beautiful things that happens this week with conferences is students come back from high school, or we have families that visit, and I want to share a celebration and congratulate the James W. Rice staff. They are very proud that one of their former students, who's now a senior at Maryville High School, came to share with them that he got a full ride scholarship to Stanford. And so, so we're very proud of him, and congratulations again to our James W. Rice staff. And we know there are those celebrations throughout our schools for the great work that's happening. And so, again, we thank you all. I know this week we've been busy with staffing meetings, preparing for next school year, and ensuring that our students have the best teachers in front of them. So thank you to my team for all your hard work, and Mr. Gabriel out there with all the data that's come in. Thank you for all your hard work that went into ensuring that we had all those surveys out, data in, lots of graphs, lots of data, and so we're just very grateful for all that to ensure that we have the data we need to provide the best education for our kids. Thank you all for your hard work, and may everyone have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Moving to H, meeting closing. H1, next board meeting is February 13th in the Alhambra District Boardroom. H2, calendar events. As you can see, we have the list of events you can take a look at and put in your calendar. And H3, adjournment. Can I have a board member? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.